Hi everyone, I'm Monica, and welcome back to another tutorial here at TaylorMade Cards for You. Today is a bonus video from my 7 Days of Halloween series, and I'm going to be sharing with you this card I made with two of the stamps released this month over at So Suzy Stamps. Now the tree is called the Halloween tree, and the stamp for the sentiment is Happy Haunting. But this release has so many great sentiments that will go with this image. You're going to definitely want to check out the store. I love working with silhouette stamps, and I decided to actually use some alcohol inks to create a fall autumn background, and to also use some of my new archival ink that goes great with stamping on alcohol based cards. So the colors that I'm using today are 4 colors. I'm going to be using rust, sunset orange, sunset yellow, and watermelon. If you've never worked with alcohol inks, they make a great background. Every background that you'll create with your alcohol inks is just going to be slightly different because you're using your blending solution to dull out some of the colors, or maybe add different color combination to add a different unique look. There are a lot of ways that you can actually add your alcohol inks to your glossy cardstock. I've even seen some people paint backgrounds with them. But for this card, I just wanted to have more of an autumn glow, so I just chose to dab with my blending tool onto my cardstock to just create a nice autumn color background. Now I know I wanted to add just a little bit of red to the background. After all, this is a Halloween card, and I had to have some sort of a red element in my card. And the color that I'm using is called watermelon. But I wanted the color to be slight. I didn't want it to take away from my brown tones. I just wanted it to have a presence. So I did add some rust to the combination, and then I chose to dilute it just a bit with my blending solution. You'll see that it adds just the right amount of red to it without overpowering the card. Now you'll see that I chose to put on gloves when working with my black archival ink, and that's because I didn't want to take a chance of my fingertips touching the base of my card. For some reason with alcohol inks, I always tend to touch my card when I'm stamping. So I just wanted to take extra caution when stamping to ensure that I didn't mess up the card that I'm creating today. You'll see in just a minute here that I did actually get some ink on my fingertips. So I think I made a good call with adding the gloves. One thing that I have noticed when stamping onto glossy cardstock is sometimes my image does tend to move and smear a bit. So I can really appreciate the Misty when stamping on glossy cardstock because it gives me a clean image every single time. When I'm creating backgrounds with alcohol inks, I do tend to work with a slightly larger piece of cardstock than I'm going to finish with, and that's because with the alcohol inks you never know exactly what look you're going to end up with, and part of the card you may like more than other parts of the card, so it gives you more options when you have a bigger piece of cardstock, and then you can just trim away what you don't want to use. Now I am going to mat it onto a piece of cardstock that is from the Tim Holtz collection. There's some great colors and Halloween images in this card stack, and I have shared it with you in some of my videos earlier in the week. At this point my card pretty much was finished. It was just a matter of matting it onto my designer paper and then putting it onto my white card base. But I did decide to actually decorate the inside of my card for this particular card, and I am using another new release over at So Suzy Stamps. This sentiment is called Shadows of a Thousand Years, and it was a great sentiment to accompany my Halloween tree. The entire sentiment reads, "Shadows of a thousand years rise again unseen. Voices whisper in the trees. Tonight is Halloween." So I thought it was a great addition to this card. But like I said earlier in the video, there are so many sentiments that work great with this image. You're definitely going to want to check out the release this month over at So Suzy Stamps. I will leave a list of all the products that I've used to create this card today, along with the links to the stores. If you've enjoyed my card series this week, I would love to get a thumbs up, and feel free to share my video with your friends. Feel free to leave a comment, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would love to have you. Thanks so much for stopping by today, and happy haunting, everyone.